Unit 3, Poetry of John Donne. John Donne was a famous metaphysical poet who is a scholar, a soldier, and a secretary born into the rescuer's son family, who later became a cleric in the Church of England. Under his royal patronage, he has made Dean of St. Paul Cathedral Church in London, and he served 10 years between 1621 to 1631. He is considered as the preeminent representative of the metaphysical poets. And I already told you that he is the pioneer among the metaphysical poets. His poetical works are noted for their metaphorical and sensual styles. Donne is considered as a master of metaphysical conceit, an extended metaphor that combines two vastly different ideas into a single idea. His earliest poem showed a developed knowledge of English society coupled with sharp criticism of its problem. His satires dealt with common Elizabethan topics such as corruption in the legal system, mediocre poets, pompous courtiers. His image of sickness, vomit, manure, and plague reflected his strongly satiric view of a society populated by fools and knaves. His third satire deals with the problem of true religion, a matter of great importance to Donne. Especially concerning his metaphysical form, he is generally considered the most prominent member of metaphysical poets, a phrase coined in 1781 by Samuel Johnson. He comments Donne as he affects the metaphysics not only in his satires but in amorous verses where nature only should reign. The perplex the mind of the fair sex with nice speculations of philosophy when he should engage their hearts and entertain them with the softness of love. This is how Dryden praises Donne in his work. So two poems of Donne is recommended for your study. So one is the valediction of forbidding mourning. The other one is canonization. So we have given the original text for your better understanding. So go through the original text. And now I just give a brief introduction to the poem. A valediction forbidding mourning is an autobiographical poem of John Donne, a very personal poem showing the pure love and devotion of the poet to his beloved. Some persons feel that the poem is addressed to his wife Annie More. The poet is about to leave in the end of 1611 for a short visit to France, but this absence of a few weeks may not be taken as an occasion of separation and lamentation. The poet's wife is not allowing John Donne to go to France. The poet's wife was in a bad state of health. The poet shows the uniqueness of true love and that it can stand separation on the account of mutual confidence and affection. And he says that this is a temporary separation, not a permanent one. According to him, the permanent separation is death. So the physical separation is temporary. So he says that this separation may be deemed like death, but as good men are not afraid of death, true lovers are not afraid of the separation. This is how he compromises his wife and says that this is not a farewell to love, but an exposition of true and devoted love, which can stand the shock of temporary separation. Because he says that it is not based on sex or physical attraction. One of the finest poems written by John Donne. Let me explain the summary of the poem in stanza wise. The first stanza, he talks about the virtuous people. He says that the virtuous people are not afraid of death because they tell their souls to live in silence. Their friends may be sad at the departure and may want them not to die. Even so, the virtuous people gladly and unwillingly leave the world. According to John Donne, virtuous people, true lovers, they are not afraid of death. In the stanza 2, he talks about his wife's tears. When he leaves her, she started crying. And he says that the shedding tears or having sighs, it may fill a pond. It will create a new pond actually. And it would be a disgrace to their love, holy love. He portray it to the common people because it doesn't happen for normal lovers. But in the case of true lovers, it happened. And he says that this pure and mystic union cannot be appreciated by the people, and hence it would remain hidden from them. And in the third stanza, he actually talks something paradox. Due to that shedding of tears, the earthquake caused great damage. He says that the earthquake caused great damage. People are mortally afraid of them. They estimate the actual damage caused by it or the threatened damage. If it were to occur, however, the movement of the heavenly bodies, which is larger and subject to greater convulsions, which doesn't cause any damage or destruction. Similarly, their parting should be peaceful and harmless. See, he compares his separation to the earthquake. See, the earthquake would cause a great damage. Yes, of course, actually. Likely, the departure of him from his lady love would not create such great damage. This departure would be very peaceful and which is harmless. Let me explain the fourth stanza. He explains his love. The love of lovely worldly people is based on physical attraction. Yes, of course. According to John Donne, most of the common love happens only on the attraction of physical. But for them, love means sex, as they cannot stand separation or absence. This kind of sexual love is unable to accept separation because the very element which go into composition are physical, which is beautiful cheeks and lips, that remains. But their love is holy and pure, which stand physical separation. He says that actually, he says they are separating physically, and their love is a holy and a pure one, not a sexual love. According to him, most of the lovers are physically attracted and they want physical attraction. But here he clearly explains that their love is holy and pure. So he separates his lady love physically, which will be a great one to the other lovers. In the fifth stanza, he talks about their love. He says that their love is so pure and noble that they don't fully understand their implications. Being independent of physical attraction, it rests on mutual confidence and faithfulness. It does not mind physical separation and consequent absence of eyes, lips, and hands. In the sixth stanza, he talks about their souls actually. Their souls are one in pure. If he goes away from her, it does not mean separation or a break of love, rather an extension of love, or like an expansion of a piece of gold beaten to thinness for the sake of protection of a gold leaf. In the stanza, he says that the love will be extended only when there is a separation, and the separation is a temporary, not a permanent. The next stanza, he talks about their souls. They are not two, but one. Yeah, both are having separate souls, but when they united, the two souls became one. And he compares them as a compass, like the central point, one central point, love, the two sides body, which move in a circle. The fixed foot of the compass may not appear to rotate. When the other foot revolves, obviously it starts rotating. However, one foot moves in a circle, the other foot also moves in a point. So he says, even when he is far away from her lady love, he will always rotate and come around her. Such a wonderful comparison, which is something oxymoron, something paradox, something contrary. Comparing souls as a compass, a mathematical instrument. And the next stanza, he continues the comparison. One foot of the compass may remain fixed in the center. The other revolves. I already told you that the fixed point refers his lady love and the rotating point refers John Donne, the poet. So he says that even when he separates his wife, he always come around her. So one complete rotation will not be the end. He will always rotating, circling his lady love. So in the last stanza, he addresses his beloved lady and bids her farewell. He is going to a foreign country, which is a temporary separation. His beloved will be like the fixed foot of the compass because he is staying at the home. He will be like the other foot of the compass, which revolves in a circle. So he compromises his lady love that even when he is in France or in Germany or in Italy or in America, his lady love is a fixed point. He always comes around his lady love in an endless circle. This is how he consoles his lady love and leaves to France. The next poem, Canonization, and another remarkable poem written by John Donne. The first stanza, he describes the lovers is in a peevish mood. The lovers is rough. I'm sorry. Here the lover refers John Donne and his lady. He addresses this verse to a complainer. He wants to say that one should keep himself busy by doing appropriate work rather than keeping a check on him and his lover. The lover tells the complainant that he can make fun of him as he is suffering from diseases and has a gray hair, but he won't gain anything by that. He says that he can criticize his ill health, but not his tendency to love. He questions the complainer, why doesn't he work and improve his lifestyle or make some money instead of disturbing or interfering with their lives? The lovers have so many things to get engaged in. So they say the addressee not to disturb them. He says that he needs to think what he is doing. See, in the first stanza, the lover makes a complaint against a group of people who is having a lot of work, instead of doing their work, they are interfering, they are disturbing their love actually. So he advises and he suggests that they need to do their work because he has many works to do. The second stanza, he says that they are not making any war or spreading any diseases in the society. If they are loving, that will not make any harm against the society, like war or spreading the diseases. They respect other properties. John Donne wants to say that his love injures nobody. It is purely harmless. The lover is tactful, full of emotion and witty. He says her sighs are not responsible for the drowning of the ship. His tears are not responsible for the flood or floating of the ground. See, paradox, oxymorons, complete contradiction. Is it not possible for, that means possible for the drowning of the ship due to the sight actually? By shedding the tears, it is not possible to actually make a very big amount of water. Due to that, you cannot actually drown any ship into that. And the next line is completely contradiction. The tears of his lady love are not responsible for any flood actually. See, right. Then he says that nature has its own natural course and the lovers are not harming it. So lovers are not disturbing the nature's course, the regular action of the nature. The heat in his veins has not increased the number of the people who died of plague. His love is harmless. Lover says that the soldiers are doing their duty by going to war and the lawyers by fighting cases in the court. But what the lover wants is to love his partner. So that is the duty of the lover. So the duty of the soldier is to take part in the war. The duty of the lawyer to fight cases in the court. Likewise, the duty of the lover is to love his partner. The third stanza. The lover doesn't care if he is called by any name because they believe that love has made them. He says that they are like flies. They have a very short existence. He presumes the life to be short, just like the candle. He compares himself as legal and his lover as a dove. So one is a wild creature and the other one is a soft creature. But he compares the two contradictory things. They are complementary to each other. It is not possible for a love, it is not possible for an eagle to love a dove actually. Both cannot be joined. But he says they are complementary to each other. They love each other from the bottom of their heart. So John Donne says that the riddle of the phoenix is there in their existence. They have two bodies, but they are one. Like the phoenix, they die and they arise from the ashes. So their love cannot be destroyed by anyone. So the fourth stanza, he begins with the thought that if they cannot live by love, they can die. So they want to live only by love. If they don't live by love, they can die. And he further says that if their love is not fit for tombs and heras, they will find their place in poetry. They want to live in the poem, not in the tombs or in the heras. They find their place in the love sonnets. He says that he and his lady love will be canonized by his love. He believes love doesn't die on death. If it is a platonic or desirable love, then it extends to exist even after the death. Both their ashes will be amalgamated or get merged if kept together. In the final stanza of the poem, John Donne wants to reflect their ideal pattern of love. He says that they will be declared as saints and they will be rewarded sainthood of love. He also says that all the lovers will beg their pattern of love. People from various countries, towns, and courts will be praising their love pattern and they follow it ideally. And these are the key terms which I have used in the poem, which will help you to understand the meaning of these words. And these are the terminate questions which you can answer after understanding the two famous poems of John Donne. Thank you.